Reframe your thoughts like this. You are an old person. You won't let yourself be enslaved by this any longer. No longer pulled like a puppet by every impulse. And you'll stop complaining about your present fortune or dreading the future. Marcus Aurelius. Time will come when we're going to get old, with a wiser version of ourselves. We would have learned a lot from our life experiences, becoming more patient and composed. Now, in this new mindset, we will refuse to let our emotions or impulse control us. We won't allow ourselves to be pushed around like puppets by every little feeling that comes up. Think about how often we complain about things in our lives or worry excessively about the future. Well, in this wise frame of mind, we stop doing that. We choose to accept our present circumstances and stop stressing about what hasn't even happened yet. Essentially, this quote reminds us to take control of our thoughts and most especially our emotions. Don't let them run the show. We shouldn't let our thoughts and feelings run wild and dictate our actions. Instead, we should be the bosses of our own minds. With a calm and balanced outlook, we will find it easier to deal with life's ups and downs. Keep this thought handy when you feel a fit of rage coming on. It isn't manly to be enraged. Rather, gentleness and civility are more human and therefore manlier. A real man doesn't give way to anger and discontent, and such a person has strength, courage, and endurance, unlike the angry and complaining. The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. Marcus Aurelius. According to Marcus Aurelius, being gentle and civil is actually more human and therefore manlier. So what does it mean to be a real man in this context? Well, it's about having strength, courage, and endurance. It's about not giving in to anger and discontent. When we let rage take over, we might feel a temporary surge of power, but in the long run, it doesn't make us stronger or more admirable. The point is, the true strength lies in being in control of our emotions, especially when faced with challenging situations. Instead of reacting with rage, we should aim for a calm and composed mindset. Staying composed and level-headed allows us to truly show our strength and endurance. Most of the time, calm is being strong. Choosing to respond to challenges in this way also allows us to build better relationships with others. Our interactions become more respectful and compassionate, fostering stronger connections and mutual understanding. Above all, when we refrain from giving in to rage and negative emotions, we create a positive and tranquil space within ourselves. This contributes to our emotional well-being and overall happiness. Many are harmed by fear itself, and many may have come to their fate while dreading fate. Seneca. Have you ever noticed how fear can sometimes cause more harm than the actual thing we fear? It's like we create our own suffering by being afraid. Seneca points out that many of us are harmed not by the events themselves, but by the fear that consumes us. Maybe it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. We may end up missing out on opportunities because we're too afraid to take that leap. And what about the fear of fate or the future? How many times have we worried and dreaded what might happen, only to find out that things turned out differently or not as bad as we thought? Seneca's message is clear. Fear can be a self-inflicted trap. It can keep us from living our lives fully and prevent us from embracing beneficial experiences. It's evident that the lesson for us is to not let fear be our master, but rather to become the masters of our own emotions and choices. By recognizing the destructive nature of fear and its potential to shape our actions and decisions, we can work on overcoming it and taking control of our emotions. When I see an anxious person, I ask myself, what do they want? For if a person wasn't wanting something outside of their own control, why would they be stricken by anxiety? Epictetus. When we spot someone who seems really anxious, let's pause for a moment and ask ourselves, what's bothering them so much? Why are they feeling this way? Well, according to Epictetus, the reason behind their anxiety might be because they want something that's beyond their control. Now let's think about it in our modern lives. How often do we get anxious or stressed out about things that are completely out of our hands? Epictetus's point is, if we focus too much on things we can't control, it's like inviting anxiety to take over our minds. Instead, we should ask ourselves, can I really change this situation? If the answer is no, then it's time to let go of that anxiety and stop allowing it to rule our emotions. Of course, it's not easy, but by being aware, we can start to free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety. So the next time we find ourselves feeling anxious, let's try asking ourselves, is this something we can truly influence? If not, maybe it's time to shift our focus and not let those external factors hijack our emotions. You cry, I'm suffering severe pain. Are you then relieved from feeling it if you bear it in an unmanly way? Seneca. When we face difficulties or emotional pain, do we find relief by reacting in an uncontrolled and emotional manner? Does venting and complaining actually make our problems disappear? The answer is probably no. Seneca's point is that when we succumb to our emotions in a way that lacks composure and self-control, it doesn't make the pain go away. Instead, it might even make things worse. We need to be mindful of how we respond to our emotions because, truth is, emotions are not always our friends. Sometimes, emotions can be deceiving companions. They might cloud our judgment, making us act on impulse. So while emotions add depth to our lives, it's essential for us to be aware of their influence. It's okay to acknowledge and express our feelings, but we should aim to do so in a way that doesn't let them control us. By maintaining our composure and inner strength, we can be free through tough times with greater clarity and grace. Remember, understanding and managing emotions are essential for emotional intelligence, which is crucial for forming meaningful relationships, making decisions, and coping with life's challenges effectively. With that, this is again powerful quote. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.